Do you have any pictures of where the other houses are in relation to your house?
Yeah, so if you look at these photos, so although the roof doesn't match what's currently there, it shows where the other homes are. So that's the closest one right there, and then they have one on the side as well. And you can see here also the two homes on the side.
This is the side. Is that correct? This is this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Where's the front of the house in this thing?
That's an old roof line.
Yeah, I know.
So that's.
This
I
is
can't tell what I'm looking at. So, so the front of this front of the house is here?
yes.
It's facing directly that way. Do you guys do reflection studies?
I'm not sure.
Well, one of the things that we have to consider
Mhm.
is glare onto neighboring residential properties
Okay.
and on the rights of way.
Or off of the panels.
They're what?
Off of the panels.
Yeah. We, to the greatest extent possible, we ask that they be put in a place that is not going to create that. Now, this being in the southerly exposure, the sun coming, east to west really isn't going. I don't think it's really going to affect that much. Certainly not for this house here, and that where the front of the house is. Certainly not for this house. But the easterly exposure, which is, so it's going to be facing this way. It comes out to the street. But it's very, but it is very well landscaped here. Trees, yeah. And those are evergreens, I believe, so they're going to be there all the time. So, in this particular case, I don't see a problem.
There's no windows over here either. On this guy.
No, that's correct too. That's a good point. So, I think we're okay with that. The arrays are, for the most part, symmetrical. There's no jagged edges, so we don't have to worry about filling it in because it doesn't look right. But has there been any thought given to, especially on the front of the house, putting a trim around the sides and the front?
The trim goes in the front and the sides.
Okay. And these can't be on pitched roofs. They can't be any more than 6 inches above the
Yes.
face of the roof.
Just trying to get frame of reference here a little bit more, because when I look at the site plan, it's a little bit different than what I understood here. So this is saying this is north. Do we know this to be, is that accurate? So this is the front of the house, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is the bulk of the panels go right there, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess in this relationship here with these neighboring houses, so the bulk of the panels face this neighbor here,
Yes.
and this is south and west. Right? If I couldn't tell with the context plan because it was too zoomed in.
That's what I'm saying. That's due west, due south, plus or minus, according to this.
This way.
Right. So sun's coming this way.
Mhm.
Right.
This is lower pitch, you see. So you'll be able to see that. The shed.
This go. Like this go. So it's a 4.
Because this is the lower pitch, you won't be able to see correctly from the street at all.
this is, what's this main drag off here?
This one.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to
No, it's all right.
catch up on what I haven't seen as a receipt on comments. Is that the,
So, yeah, up in the Main Street right
so is that Broadway?
there. That, what you see there is Broadway.
That's Broadway, right?
Yeah.
I mean, my minus neighbors, like, I think if anything, more visible from Broadway. Yeah, especially during this time of year when there's no sun cover.
Yeah,
But
if it's simply visible from Broadway and not, you know, not in anybody's window,
Right.
then
That's why
we're pretty much
this is yours.
bound to allow.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to understand what they're pointing at, so
Yeah.
I don't.
That looks on, we have that open.
All right, any questions?
Do I have a motion to approve the application?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Yep. Have a good night. Yep. You can contact the building department in a day or two. All right. Okay.
What's that? Yeah. We're not building department in a day.
Now we go to new matters. ARB 18-3719 Westwood Lane, Gambardella window.
Actually, you're from those who have it.
Good evening. My name is Stephen Costa. I'm the engineer for Tom and Lynn Gambardella, the owners of 19 Westwood Lane, which is a condominium complex in Lower Field Point. And we're here this evening for the roof window skylight in the front elevation. The photos I gave you, the upper photo is the unit itself,
That's
where it's shaded, right? And the lower photo is actually 2 units down, which has a similar skylight installed. So that's just for perspective, saying that it already exists in the neighborhood, and that's what the look they're going for.
So this isn't a realization?
No, it's a proposed.
No problem. Anybody have any issues?
Did Field Point give you any comments?
The only comment we have, we already presented the case, they wanted the contractor's insurance. Once they receive that, they're going to issue an approval letter.
Did you have to go through the building, the planning board or anything?
No.
This is just, okay. All right. Well, I don't have any issue with it. Gentlemen?
No.
Okay, motion to approve. Do we have a second? Second. All in favor? All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
We'll move on to the next new matter, ARB 18-38, 220 Harriman Road, addition.
Hi.
Trying to figure out without a fancy board how it would be best to present for you guys. Just do it up there?
Yeah,
Okay.
have another,
Okay. So my name is Corey Marino. I'm one of the homeowners, and I'm representing myself tonight. Thank you. So as submitted, we are looking at a second-story addition on top of the current property, and an expansion of a single-car driveway with pull-out.
Is the shaded area the existing driveway, or that's the,
The shaded area is the new proposed expansion on the driveway.
On top of the,
Correct. Yeah, so what you have there, kind of off to the right, is what is current.
the retaining wall is staying on the left side of the driveway?
It's going to be replaced with different material. It's currently railroad ties that are kind of caving in, so we're going to replace that with modular blocks.
Are they unilock, or are they cemented in?
It is going to be, yep, the third page on the smaller handout. Color willow, it's actually going to be tumbled, so it has a little bit more character to the stone than what's visualized here. But it'll be a 6-inch asher. Is this working for you guys? Sorry.
Yeah, just give us an idea of
Sure.
the addition then.
Yep.
I mean, what's the present material on the first floor? As of right now, it's just siding?
Yep,
Or-
just wood siding. So we're going to be replacing it with hardy board and pearl gray.
And what is this,
That is a photo just kind of the inspiration behind the coloring palette for the home.
okay,
So we're going to be looking at doing kind of a transitional craftsman-like design with that color combo between the stone and the siding.
let's talk about the addition and the siding. The roof is all new?
Yep.
On the dormer on the right there, the porch.
Yep.
There's something weird on the drawing where the windows come down lower than the dormer.
So I think that will be a little bit of a basin that has like a copper filling it right there. Yeah.
Roof on.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just not understanding the drawing, but on like the two sides of the dormer, shouldn't
Yes.
it go all the way down to be even with the windows?
My understanding is that this is going to sit in kind of with like a basin there. Yeah.
This one's pitched, one is
So they're
straight.
set
Yeah.
back.
Correct. Yes.
Falls into the, you have to cut the roof in. It's basically gonna, there'll be a copper pan. And,
It does look funny from the one-dimensional drawing. Yeah.
I mean, the windows can simply be smaller to achieve that without changing the roof line. I'm sure we want to maximize that. The one, just because we don't have existing conditions
Sure.
for the first floor.
Sure.
Is the entry door on the side like that right now?
Yes, correct.
So the first floor, just looking at the, so the openings as existing are just getting new windows in the same old openings? Is that
Mhm.
a mixed bag of?
No, we wanted to create more symmetry between what we were doing on the top floor, the addition, with what's there. So what's currently there, I'm pulling up a picture for you now, are, I believe they're called picture windows, where you have the big front with the two side
The
panels.
single, yeah.
Correct. And that is what you have here, as well as for both two sets of front windows. So we'll be matching them with what we're doing on top there, egress.
you changing the building's footprint at all?
No, we're not. Here's a, if this is helpful at all. Correct.
Want to take a look at
Would you care to see?
Is the rear deck existing as is too?
Yes, it is.
Just gonna stay as is?
Yeah, we actually replaced it last summer.
Do you have any information on these new windows? So windows schedule.
No, I'm sorry, the information I have is what's in here. So I do need their cut to egress size for
One of the
materials.
the style, the brand, and the material.
Yeah, so we're looking at Anderson 400 series, I believe it is. They'll be all in white.
And what color again?
White. Which will match the rest
So
of the trim.
the hardy material is which color?
It's pearl gray. Here's a sample.
Keep going to the left.
Thank you.
Already with 6-inch exposure.
So it's tone on tone shingle.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Obviously, the existing windows are shown 3/1. Is that the way they are? Three windows, 3 panes over one.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think, we don't have the back of the building. Everything's changing in the front. So-
Yeah,
So
so,
3 over,
yeah, so that's,
so you got 2, they're all, there's no mullions. Okay, so that's a good point, Rick, just for the sake of, this is,
That's just a.
no, I know, but honestly, it's not a bad thing to comment on.
so what's the concern?
I'm just, what the window, this 3/1, so the mullions in the window
Oh,
makes 3 lights and then over 1 light. So this is 2/2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. So this is like a pseudo prairie style that only works in the doors, like personal recommendation for something that I think is just a better look.
Yeah.
Is 2/1 or 2/2. This is just a weird style.
What
window.
about the 6 over?
6/1 is more appropriate too.
I'm fine with that. I'm
This
not
is-
married to that design.
The thing is, of the existing windows, there are existing windows that.
That's what
Those all windows will be replaced.
there's existing openings,
Yes, I understand.
new
what you're
windows.
saying,
That's
yeah.
what I was asking
Okay.
before.
Yeah,
So basically, you can you're not moving the opening. You're just recutting it.
correct.
So all windows replaced, and they're gonna be 6/1.
Yep.
I think you need to schedule, and I think you have to hit it.
Well, I'm not gonna worry about it now, but I will, on the drawings, I will make reference to the fact that they're all Anderson 400 series,
Okay.
that they're white, and all the windows will be replaced, and they will be 6/1.
Sounds great.
You okay with that?
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, just one quick question with that. Does that work for
The
these
doors.
smaller windows up here,
Yeah,
which
there'd
is where
be
the
single,
bathroom
they'd
will
be
be?
single
They would just
sixes.
be singles, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
That's considered like a single sash.
Okay.
I mean, this is kind of out of the view, so I'm not. Okay. Any other questions? What's the, you're matching the existing chimney is,
Correct.
and it's just gonna be extended.
Correct. Mhm.
And a new cap on top?
Gas or wood?
If we have wood burning, it's a wood burning stove, and the cap was replaced 2 years ago, so I think it'll remain.
So the patios, I mean, the deck, everything is staying the same in the back?
Correct. Yep.
No change in lighting or on the outside?
The only lighting change that will happen is there's a porch light that I'll probably just put a different light in that same place. But no.
On the front porch?
On the front as well. It's just going to be a different cap. It essentially sits, where are we? Yeah, it's just right above the door right here. It's just a tiny little coming down from the ceiling.
It's a flush.
Yeah, it's a flush mount. I just don't care for it.
Anywhere where you don't have this new stack stone is just large or
That would
exposed
just be foundation. Yep,
Is it presently not finished?
correct. It is as seen there. As is the front right now, currently.
So on the left side of the garage, it doesn't show stacked stone, is that like covered?
Oh, yeah, I think the modular retaining wall is gonna come in close to that. If we can fit the stone in there, we will. It's just gonna depend on how that can be cut, because it'll be a small amount of exposure.
What's the finish on your front door?
It will be wood and mahogany stained.
To match the garage door?
Correct.
This might be a technical question, I don't know if you can have that answer to it. Since you're not changing the footprint and the foundation is just presently existing,
Uh-huh.
how's the stone, like it's gonna stick out from the wall?
It's stone veneer.
How thin?
I like that. Depending on the cut.
I think you're gonna end up with like a lip around the top of the building.
Yeah, it's
Thin
something I'll
versus
be
otherwise.
very concerning about. And this actually sits further back into the garage. The front kind of comes out a little bit on the existing, so I don't think it'll be.
Well,
That's- I mean, that's-
Yeah.
All the better, I mean, if you could add it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the same thing as we come, like, anything on the bottom here except on the east rear, like, this is supposed to have stone, right? This is gonna have stone if the retaining can,
Yeah.
right? So what happens, so when you take that lick and stick brick, and you go, put it on the end, you just see the side of it, which is, I'm sure it's a cost consideration. It's not very, I can tell you, you're not gonna like it.
Okay.
'Cause it's- So when you adhere to the front of the building,
Yeah.
right? So what happens is you gotta stop it somewhere, right? So then you switch over to your whatever, and you basically see the profile of it, it's like unfinished. It's not, I don't think it's a tremendous issue.
Yeah.
It's just how you turn the corner on the, what you see on the face of the building when you're
Right.
looking at it.
Yep.
It's not optimal, but it's a chunk of money to do. So I presume you're not wrapping all the corners just because it's,
Yeah, I am. I'm not planning on it. And, yeah, the one problem where it,
it just seems with more.
yeah, no, it's,
Okay.
that's why I was asking how thick it is, just because I don't want the bottom of your building to fell out at the bottom.
I don't want to be.
Okay. No. Any more? So I'm going to make a motion to approve the application as amended.
Can I say one thing? Sorry, sir. When you change the, well, this can't be seen, but I just think for the sake of what you see on the inside, when you change this is the only door. When you change all those, you should make this a 12 or 15 light door.
Versus
It'll
just
match
having
your,
Like what
you
that-
either, yeah, you go one or the other.
One or the other,
Because
yeah.
if not, this is like two
Oh.
styles, it'll look funky.
Yeah,
So-
yeah,
So
Yeah.
either approve the back door with 15 lights,
Mhm.
and then they will look consistent on the interior for you.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't care what it looks like in the back, no one can see it. So, just three.
No, I appreciate it. I agree.
We'll put multiple lights because
That's what it's, that's fine.
Okay, so I have a motion to approve with the amendment of the windows showing Anderson 400 series in white. All windows are replaced, 6/1, and the patio doors to have multiple lights. One second,
Second.
all in favor?
Thanks, guys, appreciate it.
Existing conditions elevation. For the sake of
It's
our.
not, but you should.
Here, you can take these.
Every checklist is different, but usually it's too close to record.
Thank you.
So the architect will resubmit with those changes?
Well, I'm gonna make the changes on the
Oh, okay.
drawings to the building department, or I'll make the notations, I'm not making the changes, but make the notations and you'll be bound by those notations.
Okay.
So,
Sounds good.
but you'll give them a day or two to, digest the changes and see if you can go from there.
Perfect, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. So we now go to ARB 18-39, 3 Cedar Lawn Road, legalization.
Hi, Michael Silver, former owner. I'm pinch hitting for Sam Vieira Architect, who's representing the current owner, Shayna Liebman. So we have a bluestone patio that when it was repaired a few years ago, we had some rock outcroppings and stuff, and my wife and the guy doing the repair decided to make it a bit larger. And as we were preparing to sell the house, we realized that it was not permitted. So it was done in...
Not approved yet.
Right. It's done in bluestone to match the rest of the stone walks around the house, and resolved a lot of dangerous issues in terms of slippery rock and such.
This was a nice job.
Yeah,
Very well done.
yeah, we're very happy with it.
Did you have to go to the ZBA for?
Yes, that was done.
Okay. And planning for extra AR, extra coverage?
I don't know all the details. I know Mr. Marin and Sam Vieira had been working on it since last
I have
year, and I
notations.
believe
I have-
this was our last stop.
Okay. My only question was that, did you go to get the previous approvals? And I don't think we'd be hearing the case. I know ZBA.
Yeah,
We'd
I-
be hearing it if planning had any beef with it.
Right.
So, okay. Any questions, gentlemen? No?
No comment.
All right. I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
we go to ARB 18-40, 113 Main Street, Luann Lawrence sign.
Good evening. I'm John Frischer, Rockland Sign. I do the sign work for Luann Lawrence.
I'm Janet Kovacs, I'm the brokerage manager at Houlihan Lawrence, so John's helping us out with this.
Okay.
This
So,
was his biggest drawing.
Yeah.
They asked for one. The inspector said, was he playing with me or what?
Probably.
Really? I thought I was a little surprised myself. Said he wanted one
It
inch.
just kept going.
I thought it was odd, but okay.
That's okay.
He was playing with me. We got it.
Could be worse. It's helpful.
Yeah,
No, it's
why
actually not a bad thing. I was just like,
Can I have one? I just.
well, you're not, if we approve it, we're not leaving that here, so
No.
take it with you. Okay. Couple things. When it comes to something like this, there's obviously criteria that we have to follow. And just a few pages of rules and regulations, but this particular situation is very complicated because contrary to what you had, which were video screens, well, they're backlit screens. They were,
Let's see, right here.
They're the same, we're reinstalling what we had.
okay. So how are they lit?
These are, there's
They're
just
backlit.
10 LEDs around the corner that lights the photograph.
So it's a photograph. I
And
brought a
these are the
couple.
suspension cables. They suspend, they look like they're hanging there.
So where are the lights?
The lights are actually inside, behind the picture, and it just basically lights the frame.
it lights the edge of it.
Yeah, it's an edge light. It's called an edge light.
So it's the old,
Yeah.
it's the old installation.
Are they,
This
We saw, like,
was
before you
taken out of the
ran
window.
Got it.
so are they adjustable, the lights?
As far as light, can they be dimmed, is what you're asking? It's a good question. I'm sure they can. I'll look further into it, but I'm sure we can.
So, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Rick, but just, yeah, they're exactly the same thing that we had before, the renovation.
We weren't aware they needed a permit. We did.
That was under a previous manager, and they were never permitted. So to get the permit for the renovation, which has now been complete since February, we need to get the signs back up for our homeowners. So it's just a photograph that we order and slip into each of the different acrylics.
Are these on timers, or how do you turn them off?
They can be, they can be, so that's another
They're gonna
thing.
need to be because between 9 and 6, they have 9 and 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. they have to be on.
We put that in and make sure that the time's right short.
The only other thing, the way you describe the lighting, I didn't have a problem with the way they look, but I'm pretty sure backlit signs are,
These are actually not backlit, they're edge, it's the terminology for this type of panel. It's a crystal LED edge lit.
Well, what it's, I mean, it pops the edges rather than the whole, like you kind of
I
see.
can light one for you, I brought a power source if you'd like to see it. Would you like to see it lit?
I've seen, no, it's the old one, so I've seen it, but I'm just saying, like, the way that you look at it, it's not the same as like just a constant glowing.
No.
It's not like a translucent photo
No.
that you would put on,
It's edge
that I've
lit,
seen in
just-
other similar applications.
The halo, just about every real estate agent these days are using these quite frequently. And we know we're within the square footage, we did all the calculations on it. Or I guess we wouldn't be here even with my big drawings. I'm gonna have to go get it. Give me 1 second.
So, just because they're the existing, what's the, do they color change?
No.
What's the color
Nope.
temp?
Just white.
Just white?
It's daylight.
So 3,000? Like 3,000 Kelvin? Something like that?
It should be, yeah, it's a very soft, you saw them, I guess you guys all saw them.
No, I'm saying,
yeah. Yeah.
that's where my
And it's just a
knowledge
straight
falls
white,
off
no,
from
no,
previous.
obviously no color change. No flashing, no.
Flashing, moving, fluttering,
No, no.
intermittently illuminating.
None of that, none of the above.
The signs on windows, transparent signs are preferable. The other thing, is windows and door signs should be applied where they will least obstruct visibility into the premises.
Well, this is the scale, so you take a look at, they're here, and you have the rest of the window.
Okay, but, you know, looking at that, if I was to be looking at the pictures, I would, at eye level, I wouldn't be able to look in. What this is telling me is that those should be at the upper window.
The awning will cut it off, you won't be able to see them.
You don't see the awning there.
I mean, this is almost, well, I know you have dimensions on here, but this is, I mean, what you're looking at in here is administrative support and desks and nothing. I mean, my office, you can if you want, but it's, and then I actually thought of it today when I pulled up. I said, oh, I'm so excited to get them back because with the renovation, it's so beautiful. The admin who sits here, like, she's very exposed. It's almost like, I almost want them back up for a little bit of privacy, and we did put blinds on the side windows. If you remember, we did have,
Coming down the street.
coming on the east side of the building, we put really nice wood blinds inside, and then on my windows, on the school side, on the west side, that's for the sunlight too. We did previously on these east side windows, had these big things with the horse on them. Those came down and we took them down. Those were totally not a.
Yeah, I mean, you do get a view into the office.
You can see in.
You do see into the office.
And then you got, there's side windows here where the front door is. Really, you can't see here.
It's a recessed entrance.
If I may too, the whole idea too is when people are walking by, you want them looking at houses, not at desks, anyway.
Right, so do you, just because I can't remember, do they still edge light even during the day? Or is it on like?
Yeah, if you
That's
have
what I'm
overcast day, you can see a bit of the light. And again, they'll.
And plus, it's also, you have the awning open.
The awning as well.
Yeah.
But the time is no issue. That can be done.
They'll have to be on a timer for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
My only other concern, as I said, was the ability to control how bright they are. I mean, I don't recall walking by to see, you know, my vision of what those looked like were always from driving by. And they were, you know, they were an eye catcher, which from your point of view is what you want to do.
Purpose.
But if they want to be sure that they're not too much of an eye catcher, meaning if they're so bright, you know, to distract.
Well, just,
That's why we would
if
ask.
you did notice them and it didn't, in other words, you being the board chairman, you would notice, I would say, you would make a conscious note that they were
So
glaring.
these were not dimmed before?
No, they were red. Again, because it's edgeless, it's not.
Is this going to be anywhere closer than where they were before, or they're
Nope,
going
exact
back
same-
in the exact same
Same
spot?
location.
Exact same spots.
That's actually the same hardware that came out, the suspension cables. They're made for that look, not to be, you know, you see them all over, you know, downtown New York, and they're not made to hit you in the head when you walk by. They're just, so you can see the, you know, the product for the house and all the property.
There's not much else that they don't comply with, so. I'll ask the associates, do you have any?
I mean, short of control, like not being able to put some sort of calibrated gauge on the lumen output of the edge lighting or something that I can't even fully understand.
That's what it did, you know.
No, I understand. I'm saying like what their old system does versus like what we see. Like I know personally speaking, for the sake of what you're doing for it, it makes sense. It doesn't bother me. I thought the edge light was a little poppy, just in remembering it, but my memory doesn't preclude you from doing that.
I'll just throw something out. We've been required, you know, I've been doing this for many years. where townships would give us a certain lumen, and the problem with lumen, it changes every other day, so there's no guarantee.
No, I get, and I
That's
get,
dollars.
Yeah, of course.
yeah, not to mention, again,
I would,
shades
I
from
would,
above and everything.
the only thing I could say is, I would require, A, that there be a timer on it to shut off from 9 PM to 6 AM, as required by the code,
Tom.
and that there be a dimmer on it.
All right, so what I'll do
It
is
has to be the way to dim
we'll
it.
put that in the provision, and I'll find
And
a way.
frankly, as we go, we'll learn whether
Fine.
it's too bright or it's not.
Okay, so I'll.
I think the way it was not a problem, but
I mean, they're the same pieces that are going back in, and they weren't on a timer before.
But if I do start getting complaints about them being too bright, or the village gets complaints about being too bright, there's at least a remedy to,
Okay,
to work it out.
so then I guess the stipulation will be on the approval, and, pending that if there is an issue, we'll find a way to get it, so you're liking.
So
I mean,
are
that's
these,
all- that's the
are
only-
these hardwired to,
Yeah.
not to an outlet or
Oh,
just
that's
to
right,
a?
yeah.
Yeah, they just plug in into the wall.
There's an outlet below
So you
each
sh-
one.
Oh,
We use
Rewired.
wires, straight down to the outlets. And then the timers will be part of each.
Have you ever dimmed these before?
I've done it in all their offices.
Have you ever dimmed one?
Excuse me?
Have you ever
No,
dimmed?
never been asked to do them. Because they generally, we've never had a problem. And we've done them off through Westchester, Connecticut, and some of the neighborhoods that you would think would, and they're not that, just New Canaan, Connecticut. And we haven't been asked to.
I think I think everyone would say no light is better. It's the problem. No, from the board's perspective, no light would be better, but I don't. I'm
Honestly,
comfortable
never
with-
been
I'm
asked to
comfortable
do
with the
it.
timer, so.
I mean, personally, I thought they were pretty bright before. So I was thrilled when they came down and, hopefully you could find some way to dim them a little bit.
All right, well, again, the approval pending,
Well-
if you guys do a field inspection and you
The,
ask me to dim it, we'll dim it.
we'll, that the building department will handle the complaints if there are any, that I'm not too concerned about it, but as far as the,
Sylvia, did you have any complaints that you have?
Before I was the manager, when I worked there as an agent, I heard that there were complaints.
the only complaints that I really ever heard or ever had was that they were on all night.
Well, then that's.
And they weren't on it,
that's
she didn't put them on a
civil
timer.
It's a civil remedy.
That I know is, I couldn't approve this without the timer situation. I mean,
It's in the code, right?
no, well, actually, it is in the code.
Okay, so.
It is, it actually, that's why I said it was a complicated issue, because the
Right.
code speaks to, video displays. Doesn't necessarily speak to this type of light, but in fairness to what's reasonable, it should be off from 9 to.
Should be even for everybody on the street. You never had video, did you?
No, never had video.
But it did look like that, that's why, everybody thought that you should conform to that, and I'm saying to myself, it really isn't what the verbiage in the code says, but. All right, so, I will make a motion to approve based on the dimmer,
Okay.
and that, there's an agreement that in the future, the timer rather, there's an agreement in the future that if in fact it becomes an issue with being too bright, that you will be,
Well, like the
willing to.
determination on the brilliance of the
Well-
building department, you guys?
I think we're gonna let the people decide. And when it goes back up, if you didn't get that many complaints, other than, all night long, which is all I ever heard.
That's what I heard too, that it was overnight, that it was late at night. I actually think it's kind of provides this little sense of security up until 9 or 10 o'clock. We don't have indoor lights on, we have a lantern outside. It's not, I don't think that's a horrible thing, but I understand it's a residential area. So, yeah, no, it was the overnight thing, not the brightness that I had heard.
So it will be, approved as amended, the dimmer if required, and the timer as a first one. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You want this drawing?
Please.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys, I appreciate it. You want this?
Yeah, I'll take it, I'll bring it to corporate.
All right, guys. Thank you.
That one's actually easier than this one.
proud owner of Fancy Schmancy Drawer.
We will now go to ARB 18-41, 106 Main Street, sign.
Good evening, I'm Steven Ciaffi of Irvington Pizza Company.
First thing that comes to my mind, and I can understand why it has what it has, but I don't think we have any sign in town that has a corporate logo on it. That's there. The rest of the sign I don't have an issue with, but there isn't anything in the code that I know of that precludes it, but it's just not in keeping with
I got you. Honestly,
what the front of it looks like.
we were told we weren't allowed any illumination. We did want to put a little color in there. And honestly, there is none in this town. But if you think of any old town, any old movie with a town, that was like, we wanted to go for that old school. We want to look like we've been here for 50 years. We don't want to look like we just opened yesterday. And that's, that's the look we were going for. I mean, Coke's not paying me to put that up.
Well, that's initially, frankly, that's what I thought.
No,
That's
Coca-Cola's
why-
not paying me to put it up. Usually, I mean, they do things like that. They wouldn't pay for a sign like this. They would put a canopy,
Right.
something cheap and cheesy looking. We like it. If it had to go, I mean, I'm going to do whatever you guys want. I just want to get my sign up there. But no, we're not being paid for it. It's not. We do sell Coke products. We are, we are exclusive with Coca-Cola.
That was going to be my question.
They have no.
When Pepsi comes back with a better
Well,
deal.
no, we've tried. They don't come back with a better deal.
Okay, yeah.
But no, there's no Coca-Cola's not putting it. They're impartially their way. They wouldn't care. But I didn't have to ask their permission for it. There's no,
What's the reasoning, is the reasoning behind the perimeter being red because of the Coca-Cola sign and help the pot?
We like red. Red makes you hungry. Blue doesn't. You know what I mean? Red's a proven color for restaurants, and catches your eye. That's the reason. We tried to limit it though. We tried to stay with more, the green and the. We didn't want to stand out like like a bright neon sign, but we did want to have let people know we're there.
Yeah.
We went smaller than the old sign was.
Yeah.
We tried to keep it a very simple. We went simple on it. We didn't try to.
The upper windows were always there?
Always there.
Huh. That's why you didn't know, because the sign covered it.
The sign will cover it before. Yeah, that's why we decided to go a little smaller, not to obstruct the windows.
Do those open at all?
I've never opened them. I don't know how to open them. They appear that there's a way to maybe pop them out or something, but they're not going to be opened. We're not going to touch them.
So where the sign is not going to affect them at all?
No, the sign wouldn't affect it whatsoever. But it's out of the way in case for some reason it had to be moved or opened for whatever, nothing I could foresee, but
So you'd like central AC in the back?
our sensor, we have like the
Mitsubishi.
Mitsubishi
Like
units.
that.
like that. Exactly.
Well, I would prefer the Coke not on there. Truthfully.
I agree. I mean, I appreciate the reason you wanted to have it there. It just,
All right, take it off. I mean, look, I want it there. If it can't be approved with it, if you could approve it without it, so we don't have to redo this, put in the speculation, no Coca-Cola, and I'll take it out. That's all.
all right, the sign would stay the same size, you just center the Irvington Pizza Company in there?
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why didn't you use your own logo?
In reference.
Like this logo?
Like I said, we were just going for that old logo, have the Coca-Cola logo on there. Again, I don't want to. Because I would say, would you like me to replace it with that logo? But then I'm sure you want to see pictures of it, and then it's opening a whole other can of worms.
If you just want to,
And it's been forever, and not on your fault, but I've hired 3 sign guys. Someone told me, I'm from Westchester originally, but all my restaurants down in Connecticut, and everyone said, use local for the small towns, use a local guy. I got recommended to 3 local guys who would say, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. I'll hand it in, and I waited forever. A couple guys were not
I've had some signs done too, I know the feeling.
and I've literally waited so long, and my guy had it ready for me in 20 minutes, and, and that was it, and he gets the job done right away. So, I finally just went back to him. And plus, with being at the restaurant, I had no time to go back and forth and everything else. So, so we just went.
The size of the sign, the shape of the sign is not an issue. I think it's, like I said, just getting that Coca-Cola logo.
We'll take it
right.
out. That's it. We'll take it out.
And then just center the rest of the,
No problem.
even if you wanted to make the Irvington Pizza Company bigger to fill,
To fill it.
I don't have an issue with that.
Okay.
Because it's not that big a sign to start off with.
I like the sign minus the logo.
Okay.
Okay, so I would make a motion to approve the application as amended to remove the logo. Second? Second. All in favor? Okay.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Moving on, we have ARB 1842, 46 Main Street, also a sign.
I'm Zini from Surrounding, I'm the owner, and I'm just waiting to get the new sign. I just moved from 41 to 46.
Well, the sign, you were able to make the sign the same color as the sign next door.
Correct.
The
same
lettering,
like the color that
the
you
lettering
like.
is white.
I have the color.
Yep.
I have the sample, I'm sorry, I have the sample of the wood,
The wood itself.
and it would be,
Painted blue.
yeah, it's not the color would be, this is the blue, exactly the same like the building, with the white.
That's not
Yeah, this one.
this.
No, this is the color.
It's really dark.
Really?
Yeah, it's
It
exactly like
is
the
blue.
door, it's exactly like the
It's
door,
saying
my door.
it's this
the
one
door.
right here.
Exactly, it's exactly the same.
Not
It's
this.
exactly the owner.
Oh, I thought you were matching Sotheby's.
That's what I thought so, too.
No, okay.
No, the owner wants exactly the same like the building.
I like that better.
Yeah.
Sotheby's, that's why I
It's
think it's
very
just.
elegant. And
So that's the lettering?
Is this painted
This is
or
white. It's
carved?
very hard to see the blue here, but if you see it, it's the blue.
No, I get it. Daylight, this is.
Yeah. And then, it was the old, I'm sorry, with this heavy things.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
I think it's literally just, are you holding it tight to
It's
the
exactly,
ceiling?
correct, it will not move at all, not me. Yeah. It will be tied today, it will not be really move or shake, no any hazard, any danger or, yeah, okay. It's very elegant and classy.
It's, these are just painted on, they're not carved or?
Oh, yeah, of course not.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
It will be the blue with all the letter. It will
The
be
letters are
carved,
carved.
All
That's
carved
what-
in
that's
white.
fine.
Yeah, it's my husband.
Oh,
He's the designer. He designed it, but the architect did everything.
Silver tinted carved.
oh, I missed that. Sorry. Thank you.
The scroll work, it covers the piece of wood over here on the window, but it doesn't over here. Is it gonna cover, see how there's a gap here,
Yeah,
but it's covering over here?
yeah, will be,
I know it's
will be
estimated.
exactly the same, yeah.
Oh, so it's gonna be covered up
Yeah,
there?
will be exactly the same.
There'll be no gap in
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's right between the door, between the two, because you have the entrance.
Yep. All right, anybody, any additional questions?
No.
Okay, motion to approve, second? Second. All in favor? Aye. Just, I would say, speak to the building department that day or two. They'll have you plan.
Then when I have the chance to go there to.
Once you have the permit, you can go order
How
it,
long will
yeah,
it take me to get?
a day or two. Shouldn't be more than that.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
but call the building department tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
And last but not least, we have ARB 18-43, 109 Harriman Road, also solar panels.
Hi, good evening. My name is Jackie. I'm from Sunrun. This is for 4.60 kilowatts, 14 panels.
So I'm reviewing that, this is on the corner of Harriman and,
Oh, it's on the corner.
no, it's one in, I guess, right? Is that,
Yes.
this is a continuation, so I have
This is Harriman here.
that's okay, it's one, this is the corner.
Yeah, right.
Got it.
Yeah, signal.
Pictures you guys have, but this, if you have this.
That's what that's what-
Okay, yeah. I'm not really sure I haven't been to this, but like to this actual location, I've seen this picture, but the layout is kind of.
But what I see is these panels are behind this.
Yeah, so-
When I was looking towards, when I look at this, this is south, right?
Right.
So
That's
on
actually
the
west.
ends.
No, that's west.
So this is the driveway right here, and then this is the garage,
Right.
and yeah, so this is this is the garage here.
Oh, I think this hatch is a little, that's what I'm confused about. It looks like, maybe it's just me, this looks like it's on this side of the ridge, not the inside of the ridge.
No, so this is
Oh, I see what you're saying.
where
That
the,
line is throwing me off too.
this is where the panels are gonna be right
No, I
here.
get it, I think
But it looks like
this was a
this
little.
ridge line
Mhm.
is on the other side.
It's
See,
just,
that's-
Oh,
it's
okay,
just,
yeah.
it's
Okay,
not,
sorry.
this is where the thought was, I wanted to make sure, because I didn't have the images, I just had the address. Um, See, they got light, it's on the west, it's really tucked away.
It's crowded as that. There's the trees.
But there is a
When
road.
I was looking at it, I was
There
like,
is a
how
road
can you-
behind it.
Yeah, park sign, but
You can't, it's from up top on the other side of the ridge, it's on the inside corner.
yeah,
That's-
I rode both
Oh.
streets. You really can't see it. There really is only a house here, and then there's really, you going up at the Cedar Lawn. Beyond that.
It's a pretty inconspicuous corner as opposed to some other avenue. But I'm shocked to get just enough juice in that location. That's what there's a lot of trees and stuff.
For the record, I must say that while I don't have in my hand, which was supposed to be in the box, the
Mailers?
mailers,
I brought the,
the originals,
yeah, I brought the certified mail receipts for it.
but you have, the building department does have a copy of those? She said she did.
Yeah, I
She said
sent.
she did, but she didn't have it in the box. At
I
least I haven't
sent-
found it in the box. As
yeah,
long as I
I
know
sent-
that they were done,
Mhm,
and that the building department saw them,
mhm. Yeah, so I sent.
just for the record, I want them to be.
Yeah. mhm.
How big is this system again? How many kilowatts?
It's 4.6.
How do you come up with,
14 panels. I'm sorry?
how do you come up with that number?
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Well, they do, it's a calculation where they figure what the house requires and try to get as close to that number as they can, from what I am led to believe.
You kind of go backwards.
Yeah.
Unless you try to get back to the grid, which I don't even know if they're allowing. You're probably buying credits
and that's
anyways.
secure. Cutest
Yeah,
route
you
you
can
can.
only, with the electric company, you can only go up to like a certain amount, like the offset is like 110%. You can't, I believe, go any more than that.
So you check I guess, look at the power readings.
Yeah, what you go like off of their usage, a certain.
According to their application checklist, they've checked off everything. The building department's checked off everything, so we know that they've
complied with all the firefighting criteria and electrical criteria as far as where the disconnects are and that kind of stuff. So I'm satisfied that they're okay on that.
What is this rapid shutdown device? Is that just sitting next to an inverter or something, or
The rapid shutdown,
that doesn't go on the roof, right?
It goes at the base.
At the bottom of the chase down the
It's
roof.
for the firemen to shut it off, because even after you shut it off, they're still energized. So they have to be very careful. That's why they need to be, you know, if you looked at the picture, they're showing the access and egress for fighting a fire. But that has to be, where it comes down before it goes into the building, there has to be shut off at that point.
You have to maintain like 3 feet around all edges and then 3 feet path. Some
Unless-
traverses.
But there are exceptions to that. If there's other ways to fight a fire in that area, meaning, you know, you're less than 10 feet and you can shoot a hose under them, then they'll give you. The only thing we say from the village's standpoint is they can't be above the ridge. You know, if there's a ridge here, they can't be up like that. They have to be below that's for wind, I guess, and other issues, but. Okay. Any other questions?
No issue with this location.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve? Yes. Second? All in favor? Aye.
okay, great, thank you very much.
And once again, you can call the building department in a day or two and
They'll work with you to get you your permit.
Okay, great. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You too. We are, I think 2 weeks from tonight.
Again, so, Randy, you'll definitely be on. I don't, actually, no, both of you guys are gonna need to be here if you can, because Andrew's out and Deb, I know, is out for the second July meeting, so we will need both of you.
I think I'm available until, so does it go the 23rd,
And then,
13th,
yes, I believe so.
and then the 27th?
Let me just say. So it's the 23rd, 13th, and 27th, yep. And then this is our last, that will be, August will be
Then
our
it hits
last
all
month.
the holidays.
Yeah, August will be our last month with 2 meetings. September, October, November, December, all single meeting months.
I think maybe only the 27th.
What's that?
I think only the 27th I might not be around.
Okay, well, Deb's back, so that's good. She'll be back in August, so.
Okay.
But I know this next meeting is gonna be short. We'll need both of you.
Is there stuff in zoning that you've seen? Or nothing from planning board or anything?
Planning board is Wednesday, so they usually stop by and listen to what's going on. They don't have an extremely busy agenda, but there is stuff on it,
Okay.
so.
I'm around.
We'll definitely have something to do next
2 weeks.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion
Second, all in favor?